What up, is Marcus with Dynasty Football Dads. Guess what? We're going to be reviewing week 2. We're going to be talking about, we still have 2 games left here, but let's summarize some of the injuries that have happened here. Saquon Barkley has an ankle injury. It looked bad. It honestly looked like the injury I believe he had against Dallas with, where he was going off that little angle route that he did, and he was gone for a few weeks there. I mean, honestly, this is just kind of the norm with Saquon Barkley. Especially when I draft him in any type of redraft league, he always seems to get hurt. I should have put a disclaimer out there. Hey, I drafted him this year. He's going to get hurt. And so I'm expecting my minimum of 2 weeks gone. That's what I'm expecting. At least the Thursday night football game. He can't make it back for that. He just can't. But I'm expecting a 2-3 week injury here, unfortunately. I don't think he's going to go on IR. I think he's going to miss that depending on what the MRI shows and what the swelling shows. We've had some concussion injuries as well. Garrett Wilson gets concussed. We had Anthony Richardson. My mental brain just went warped away. And concussion injuries, any concussion injury, it is completely different and separate. And what I always say is expect them to go through the concussion protocol and have an idea of what they're going to do at about Thursday. These can be anywhere from, I would say, 6 days to a few week type of injury. More times than not, it's that 6 to 9 day window. The problem is a lot of these games are 7-8 days away. And so Anthony Richardson may miss a week. Garrett Wilson may miss a week. Devontae Adams goes into concussion protocol, may miss a week. So just be careful and aware of that. A lot of our waiver wires hit. We talked about Kyren Williams. We talked about Zach Moss, the player that is going to be backing up Saquon Barkley. We're not going to be looking at that because there are just some backfields that you cannot replace that running back and have adequate volume. But we're going to talk about waiver priority. I don't want to spoil it for you. We're not going to talk waivers until tomorrow because that's when we talk about waivers. And then Wednesday we'll talk about some betting and some starts and sits of the week. But let's talk about some panic meters here. Jamar Chase and the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow re-aggravated the calf injury. I've had a calf injury actually from running, completely different. His looked like a knee injury or an Achilles injury when he first did it in practice. So Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, and I'm gonna put this on a warning scale from 0 to 5. 5 being like panic I'm gonna put it as a 3. Joe Burrow started off last year extremely slow, but what we have seen is we've seen T. Higgins succeed. We've seen a struggle out of Jamar Chase. We've seen a struggle out of Joe Mixon and Joe Burrow. It's been a mess. And so it's a 3 for a panic meter. I am putting some slight, last week, I would have traded you Tua for Burrow, especially in redraft. For this short term, this next few months, I'm not sure I want to do that because what if Joe Burrow just keeps lagging this injury? Long-term, Joe Burrow. But short-term could be Tua Tagovailoa or could be a different quarterback like a Lamar Jackson over a Joe Burrow, which we wouldn't have said that previous to the season starting. And so that is a big concern here. And Jamar Chase, where is he? You have all the receivers, all the top receivers seeming to succeed. You have, again, the CeeDee Lambs. You have the Amon-Ra St. Browns, the Justin Jeffersons, the Cooper Kupp, Puka Nuak, whatever, Puka. You have. Well, I guess he's not a superstar, but I'm just saying that he plays as Cooper Kupp. It's kind of funny. You have all the receivers seeming to be very successful so far to the start of the season. Same for running backs. This is why you have first and second round picks. I mean, really, the only thing that causes these 2 rounds to be hyper unsuccessful is a lot of times injuries. And we have Saquon injury. We have Eckler injury so far. We'll see if there's any other injuries that end up happening to any of these star players. Nothing right now. Again, Devontae Adams in the concussion protocol. So any other players that were kind of, I guess you could put a red flag on? Again, Cincinnati is our biggest one, but what is happening to Justin Fields? What is happening to that Chicago Bears offense? I think that, if anything, Justin Fields is like a 4 out of 5 for me. They're not running it. They want him to be a pocket passer. He's clearly not a pocket passer. I think that there's a big panic meter for Justin Fields here. And this is long-term wise. This is short-term wise. I feel very, very uneasy having Justin Fields is my starting quarterback in a redraft league. It doesn't feel great. I mean, he had 20 points, or not even that, but then he threw 2 picks. including a pick 6. So, again, some major issues here. A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, we're going to kind of put them a little bit into kind of the panic meters, mostly Dallas Goedert here. And honestly, I think this is what you're going to get with the Eagles offense. You're going to have games that you're going to have DeAndre Swift running for 100 yards, not maybe almost 200 yards, but you're going to have games that DeAndre Swift and maybe Kenneth Gainwell are going to be successful, or even Jalen Hurts, the running back 1 on that team, or especially the goal line running back 1. And A.J. Brown nearly had 2 different separate touchdown situations, almost succeeded, and he didn't. He didn't get them, and Devontae Smith did. So next week it might be the Devontae Smith 4 for 50 yards, and A.J. Brown might hit a 70-yard touchdown bomb. It's just, that is just potentially what happens. Now, the next one we're going to kind of go through is just the Seattle wide receiver of DK Metcalf. What is going on with him? It just seems like he's had a little bit of injury, banged up. Jackson Smith-Njigba getting a bunch of targets. Tyler Lockett being the double touchdown master. And honestly, this is another big kind of 3 to 4, I'm going to say 3.5 panic meter, because Geno has a lot of mouths to feed. Kenneth Walker has been very good on the ground. Zach Charbonnet, if you were to put a panic meter, you'd be a 6 out of 5, because he has just been relative to the backup mode, complete backup mode. And so that is a huge, huge concern for me. And so we have to look at that and go, there's a potential sell now. There's there. So the other panics, there's not that much panic mode, because really the players that are wanting, or that need to perform are performing, and the players that are not. It's just like, this is a pretty simulated. I mean, I did a bunch of bets with Underdog and with Slaper, and I mean, man, I made a few $100 just betting these $5-10 bets, because it was like whatever you expected to kind of happen, or the players you expected to do really well on, they did really well. And the players I expected to do bad on, they did really bad. I mean, the one thing that really cost me was Anthony Richardson. On Underdog, I had probably $300 or $400 that would have been paid out if he would have gotten like 7 more rushing yards. But he got hurt. Stupid Underdog. They should void those ones, especially when it's like that was easily going to be over. It sucks. A Sleeper does void them, which is kind of nice. I know I got a random tangent here. To summarize, I think what's going to happen tonight is you're going to get some Derek. I think my brain just stroked out. You're going to get some David Carr. You can see how long I've been doing fantasy for. Derek Carr. I think I watched a video of David Carr throwing a ball to with Patrick Mahomes. They were like throwing it as fast as they possibly can, and so maybe that's why David Carr came into mind. Derek Carr, I think he's going to have an okay game. I think Rashid Shaheed's going to hit the over. I think that Nicholas Chubb is going to hit the over on receiving yards. Deshaun Watson's going to hit those over on rushing yards. I think that Kenny Pickett and both Bryce Young are going to have a very big struggling game, so you can put the unders on those two. Especially, I think that Kenny Pickett's going to be throwing a pick here. Kenny Pick it. Yeah, he's going to be an INT. He's going to throw a pick. I'm trying to think. That was my dumb dad joke of the day. That's it. That's all for now. We're going to start off the week. End of last week, I wasn't feeling good, and my son was sick too. So we got a little bit of a bug. That happens. But we get to just hang out on the couch, which is always so nice. All right, this is Marcus. Peace out. We'll see you again tomorrow.